The air in the living room was teeming with a heat that clung to my skin, viscous and restless as shadows draped us in a velvet haze. I could attribute the liquor to the slow burn that was coursing through me, eroding every inhibition. However, the reality was that Jasper was splayed in the recliner next to me. His presence, a magnetic pain I was unable to disregard, my body's throbbing sensation, which was exacerbated by the way his leg rubbed against mine. The faintest whisper of hair caressing my arm as I kneeled by the coffee table, where we had been imbibing all night, faded into laughter. A silence that is charged and implores for something to shatter it. I felt the pull recklessly urgent as his legs extended out on the recliner footrest, lazily and inviting. I leaned in, my lips hovering over the taut curve of his calf, and pressed down a slow, deliberate kiss that sent a jolt through me. His warmth permeated me. The faint tickle of hair against my mouth ignited an appetite that I had not yet identified. He remained motionless, and the stillness only served to fuel me. I kissed him again, deeper this time, letting my lips linger, tasting the salt of his skin as my breath quickened. My hand slid to his knee, fingers trembling with daring, tracing the firm line of his thigh. Each inch I ventured higher stoked the fire in me, a slow tease of discovery, until my touch grazed something soft, heavy, and alive. I froze, pulse racing, then pressed on, feeling the weight of him, the heat, the sheer power beneath my fingertips. It was dizzying, a secret unfurling, and the need clawed at me, sharp and unrelenting. I needed him closer, needed to taste him, to feel him claim every sense I had. Rising to my knees, I moved as the recliner footrest lowered with a soft thud, an invitation to dare. In the faint light, I saw him fully, striking flawless, a vision that demanded worship. Our eyes locked, his gaze flickering with something dark and knowing, and I answered it, leaning in to envelop him in a slow, searing heat. He filled me, his scent, his warmth, the way he pressed against every edge of my awareness. My hands roamed as I surrendered, teasing, tasting, losing myself in the rhythm of him. His fingers found my hair, threading gently at first, then gripping tight, guiding me with a force that sent shivers racing down my spine. The world shrank to the draw of his hands, the pulse of him against me. I briefly retreated from the electric edge of complete surrender, long enough to hear his raw voice murmur the answer. His response was a shift, a spark of wildness. His grip tightened, compelling me to return, and the tempo surged urgently and unrelentingly, a dance of heat and need that left me breathless. It built, spiraled, and then crashed over me in a rush, a sharp, searing flood that I welcomed. When it stopped, I lingered, pressing a final tender. I lay there, his taste still alive on me, a quiet fire that carried me into sleep. Touch him before retreating to the couch. Silence fell, thick with the echo of what we had shared. That night with Jasper, its shadowed heat, unspoken draw, a memory that surpasses all others, continues to linger in my mind. The fire that simmered beneath my skin was not diminished by slumber. It was restless and alive as I awoke to the dim gray of dawn creeping through the blinds. Shadows from the previous evening continued to dominate the living room. The air was dense with the earthy and intoxicating scent of him, a trace that clung to me like a second skin. I shifted on the couch, my body vibrating with the memory of Jasper's warmth and the way he had undone me. He was still present, splayed in the recliner, without uttering a word. One arm was draped over the side, and he passed away on his chest. He rose slowly and steadily, even in his sleep, radiating that effortless pull, muscles beneath his shirt and legs. He spayed in a way that dared my eyes to linger, and I was unable to look away from the curve of his thigh. The faint shadow where the fabric was stretched tight beckoned me back to the edge, where we would cross our fingers, twitching with the desire to trace him again and feel that pulse of power. I sat up, my breath shallow and trapped in the pull of him. The silence was a tease, with every creak of the couch whispering against the stillness. The echo of my lips on his skin, the way I had worshipped him in the dark. I wondered if he felt it too. Did it persist in him like it did in me, a current that refused to fade? The heat in me flared sharply and suddenly as I remembered the weight of him and the way he had hardened under my hands. My mouth surrendered to him even as he claimed me. I stood drawn closer despite my bare feet and silence on the floor. The space between us shrank, and with it my restraint. And my gaze drifted lower. I stopped just short of him, close enough to feel the warmth radiating from his skin and to capture the faint musk of him that made my pulse stutter. My hand trembled with the desire to reach out and glide along the line of his leg once more, reigniting that wildfire. I envisioned a slow, deliberate touch that would awaken him. My fingers would first find him soft, and I would then gently coax him back to life. He stirred, and a low hum escaped his throat. I was seized by a sensation of being seen as his eyes fluttered open and heavy-lit, locking onto mine with a gaze that pierced through the haze. It was not a feeling of wrath or shock, rather it was a brief glimpse of a dark presence that mirrored the pain I was experiencing. His lips parted, and I felt a gentle caress run down my spine as he exhaled. Although neither of us spoke, the air was dense with the unspoken desires that we still harbored. My hand was drawn to his thigh by an unspoken pull, and I fell to my knees beside him before I could stop it. A quiet flex sent a shiver coursing through me as his muscle tensed beneath my palm. I was afraid to look away. I was afraid to break the thread of heat that was extending between us. I felt my fingers slide higher, slowly and teasingly brushing the edge of where I had been before, where I longed to go again. His breath pitched a sound so faint that it nearly undid me. I felt him shift subtly, inviting me to give him more. The room seemed to pulse with us, with every shadow a witness to the tension, coiling tighter and tighter. The air between us was warm, charged, and alive as I leaned in close to his lips, hovering just above his skin. He was observing me, and I could feel the weight of his gaze as I pressed a single, lingering kiss to his inner thigh. His hand moved slowly and deliberately, threading through my hair without pulling, just resting there. A claim, a question, a promise. The hunger in that stare mirrored mine, and I gazed up at it. My hand tightened on his fingers, daring to graze the heat I craved, and his grip on my hair tightened just enough to make my breath catch. Time stretched suspended in that moment as the world narrowed, and the press of my skin against his was the thrum of want that bound us. Eli's voice was rough with sleep and something deeper, and it was a spark to dry tinder. He whispered my name low and unguarded, and a surge of emotion passed through me. A wave of heat that pulled me low and insistent. I refrained from responding with words that were unnecessary. I leaned in again, allowing my breath to fan over him and allowing my touch to speak where my voice could not. The morning stretched on, and we remained there, locked in a dance of heat and shadow, each touch a thread that would weave us closer. Jasper's scent, strength, and silent draw captivated me, and I willingly surrendered to it, pursuing the edge we had discovered and refusing to relinquish it. Like what you heard. There's plenty more heartbreak and secrets to come. Hit like, subscribe, and stay curious with Tangled Truths.